Hello again, my name's Gabe Zolna. I was laying there in bed this morning and I was going through what I saw last night when I tuned in to watch the farce of a debate. And what I saw was disgusting. The whole thing was disgusting. Fox News showed its true colors. I could not believe how that debate started off with those 10 top-tier candidates. The opening remarks that were made towards Donald Trump by Bret Baier were nothing more than a setup. He made it very clear, he meaning Donald Trump, he made it very clear that if he's dealt with fairly, he's not going to run as an independent. But he's not being dealt fairly. Fox News had an agenda. Every question that they asked was designed to humiliate, embarrass, degrade Donald Trump. There wasn't one question that any one of those talking heads asked that had anything to do with steering the country in the right direction. I think Donald Trump missed a golden opportunity when he was asked by Bret Baier if he would support the nominee selected by the head of the GOP, Reince Priebus, and if he wouldn't run as an independent. His answer should have been, I'm going to run as a true Republican, and there isn't one on this stage other than myself. That's what he should have said. The Republican Party is no longer what it once was. It's morphed into the same kind of disgusting group of people that are asking me, or are going to ask me, questions. Every question was an attack against Donald Trump. After Bret Baier center-shotted and put the focus, the negative focus, on Donald, Megyn Kelly took her swat at him, saying, you called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals on your Twitter account. Donald came back with only Rosie McDonald. Perfect answer. The assault against Donald continued with every single question asked. I read an article on WorldNet Daily. I'm going to attach the link. The title, Debate Fireworks, Fox News versus Donald Trump. Perfect title. The assault continued. Every time a question was asked of Donald, the questions were designed to attack him. There wasn't one person that asked a question that dealt with anything of relevance. They were all designed to try to tear Donald Trump down. What Donald Trump should do, I believe, is what I suggested that he should do. Form the new Republican Party. Make certain that the American people know that the existing Republican Party has morphed into the Democratic Party. Mitch McConnell is a perfect example of that. So is the Speaker, John Boehner. Chris Wallace continued the attack on Donald, asking him to let the American people know what kind of proof he has about Mexican's government doing what they do to ship their people that they don't want into this country. Donald answered honestly. The ticket for 216 should be Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson. When I stayed and watched after the debate, I saw that puke, Frank Luntz. And what was he designed to do? To further tear down Donald Trump. If the American people get an opportunity to elect anyone, and if the chosen one doesn't implement martial law so he can remain in power, again, the ticket, I think, should be Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson. Anyone else that's given that office will end up with the same old, same old. Ted Cruz doesn't qualify. He wasn't born on American soil. He is not even considered an anchor baby, which is what we also had on that stage. We had two anchor babies. Not on that stage, on the previous stage. Bobby Jindal is an anchor baby. And Marco Rubio is an anchor baby. Look up the definition of an anchor baby. Look up the definition as to whether or not an anchor baby can become president. They can't. And that just goes to show you how corrupt and crooked this whole farce of an election is starting out to be. If the American people elect anyone else other than the Donald and Dr. Ben Carson as vice president, they're going to end up with the same old politicians. Rand Paul showed his ineptness. Chris Christie did better than Rand Paul. I'd say Rand Paul was probably one of the worst on that stage. He also doesn't look presidential. But that's not his fault. The whole thing, again, I thought was disgusting. I'm going to take a sabbatical from Fox News. I'm going to do something I said I wouldn't do. I'm going to watch CBS, NBC, MSNBC. I'm not going to watch Fox News. Every one of them, the talking heads, was disgusting, including Charles Krauthammer. When he was asked how he thought that Donald did, and he said, the fact is, he was out of place. And you know what? That was absolutely the best comment and the best compliment that Krauthammer could have given to the Donald. He was out of place. Both he and Ben Carson were out of place. They were surrounded by typical money-grubbing, power-hungry politicians. You want to see something really amazing? Go Google Donald Trump's 757 interior. Take a look at what that plane looks like inside. The reason I mention that is Donald doesn't need to do what he's doing. He has in excess of $10 billion. He's doing it because he loves this country and he has children. And he doesn't want to see his children grow up in a world that he wasn't able to grow up in. The whole thing is disgusting. Megyn Kelly showed her true colors. You know, I was laying there in bed, as I said at the beginning of this video, and I've said this before, Donald shouldn't show his face on Fox News. But then again, he does get free publicity. I'm not going to watch Fox News. I don't really care what you do. I'm going to get whatever I can get from other sources. They disgusted me. Every single one of them. Brett Baer disgusted me. Megyn Kelly disgusted me. Chris Wallace disgusted me. You know what's amazing as well? I believe Chris Wallace is a Democrat. I don't know what Megyn is, and I could care less. I guess their answer is we're fair and balanced. They were given marching orders to do what they did. This was an all-out assault on the Donald. That's sort of what I think. Even Brett Humes attacked him. I think he was the winner. I think he is the winner. I think Dr. Ben Carson was the second winner. The rest of them, all pukes. Political hacks. You know, you've got Ted Cruz talking about immigration and illegals. He's an illegal. He's an illegal. You know, it all starts at the top. Rice Priebus isn't doing the job he needs to be doing by allowing people that don't qualify to run for the Oval Office, And what these people are doing is they're taking advantage of donors. Anyone that gives any money to Ted Cruz is throwing out their money. Anyone that gives any money to Bobby Jindal or to Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio and Bobby Jindal are both anchor babies. Politics is no longer what it once was. Or maybe it truly is still what it once was, and it's showing its true colors. Donald will change that. He'll empty the swamp, which is what Nancy Pelosi said she would do, but she never did do. Anyone other than those two, forget about this country. And that's again on the assumption that there'll be an election. That's yet to be determined. I told you what I think. I told you why I think what I think. Let me know what you think.